What NSFW fact about yourself are you proud of but can't share because of its NSFW nature? I once woke myself up in the middle of the night because milk was spraying into the air from my breast like a fountain. And it was splattering me in the face. Got my dick sucked in a kebab shop in Dublin. She dipped it in garlic sauce and sucked it off. When I am stir but with only my hand, as opposed to with a toy, it turns out that I scrunch my neck to one side. Once. I was particularly horny during pre-period week and masturbated a bunch. And managed to sprain my neck. The doc at the urgent care was like, "But how?" So whenever people start talking about strange injuries, I want to chime in with that little gem. But can't because of the reason behind the sprain. While getting a pap smear, my doctor commented that I have a deep vagina. Well endowed men have said I can take the dick like a champ and now I know why. I gave my boyfriend an orgasm so good that I thought he was having a seizure or some sort of medical issue when it happened. He looked like he was ascending into another dimension. Not proud of it but as weird coincidence. 2 of the last 3 girls to give me a blowjob got diagnosed with leukemia within a year afterwards. Your dick was so bad it gave them cancer. I prob have the cleanest asshole in the room at any given time. I have stomach problems that give me constant diarrhea so I carry around special wipes. So after each time I more or less give my ass a spit shine with cleaning wipes cause the thought of a dirty arsehole cheeks makes me ill. I wouldn't suggest knocking on the door but the porch is immaculate. I can orgasm while using some of those thigh machines at the gym. It's purely physiological and it's honestly usually more annoying than anything but I guess it's cool. I make a stupid amount of money creating furry PRN games. I used to be able to suck my own dick. A car accident screwed up my back. And I'm not as flexible anymore. That's why it's illegal to suck your own dick while driving. There's a cast of my penis floating around northeastern US. It was part of an art exhibit. And rumor has it, multiple duplicates were made and placed throughout Rhode Island. I can't confirm that. But I wouldn't doubt it either. Finally get to tell someone this. I have a particularly big bulge in my pants all the time. Whether it be jeans or shorts. I always look like I'm smuggling a gerbil in my crotch. I get a lot of looks and one time I was embarrassed and blushed when my co-worker told me that everyone's noticed at work. When I walk, there's still a very visible lump that shows through my pants and work apron. It made me very self-conscious. But the thing is, my dick is quite average sized. It's my balls that are really big and full. They serve as a cushion for my dick and prop it outward from the gap in my thighs, giving me a big looking bulge. I ain't complaining though. I just don't want a girl or guy, to get in my pants and be like, oh, that's what all the fuss is about? And make me feel small or inadequate. My husband has a similar ball to dick ratio. I love it but he feels self-conscious about it. He says he thinks his dick and balls looks like a stoner hanging out on a beanbag chair. I can deep throat an 11-inch dick. Turns out years of bulimia is convenient when you decide to be a Craigslist hooker edit. Goddamn 4,000 karma for that edit too. Yes. I measured because it was huge. It was attached to a man in his 60s who wanted a sugar baby. Edit 3. I gave my boyfriend a slow blow while we were watching a show and managed to time it perfectly with the end of the 2nd episode. I guess there is some pride but it was really mostly situational. Long and the short of it is that I lost my virginity as one of the M in a MFM threesome. Quite the eye-opener lol. Edit. I was 17. Pro tip. It's not supposed to go in the eye. GF at the time org smed so hard that her eyes rolled back into her head. Scariest I have ever seen was like something out of The Exorcist. I met this girl on the internet once. We hit it off and started flirting, which escalated to us sending dirty stories and eventually describing our darkest fantasies to each other. I told her I wanted to meet a stranger in a hotel room and them without ever saying a word until it was over. Long story short, I ended up eyeing that girl in every hole before I even knew what her voice sounded like. I can orgasm just from being spanked. I've also taken at least 4 guys and L virginities. I'm a grill. George Foreman would approve. Not bad for a grill. I once jacked off 11 times in one day. That's a light Tuesday. I can tell within an hour when I'm gonna get my period. I was giving a BJ and was still kind of recovering from an illness but ate Chinese food before for some reason. So I threw it up but I kept my lips completely sealed around the dick. Swallowed the vomit back down and kept going until he came. He had no idea that anything happened. I was always proud of this disgusting little incident for some bizarre reason. I usually can only do this when I'm stoned. But if I'm warm and comfortable I can suck in my stomach in a way that makes my balls pull up 2 or so inches in the sack, leaving loose sack remaining at the bottom. Essentially, what you end up with is a smiley face with my testicles as the eyes. The drooping sack as the wide smile. This entire thing just reads like someone chillin' by themselves. High as. My head of hair is blonde, my beard is red, my chest hair is black, my pubes are brown. God was high as when he made me. One time during a blowjob I came inside the girl's mouth and it went in her nose. It wasn't a fire hose strong orgasm or anything. Just a perfect shot like in Star Wars that was just well placed enough to bring down the Empire. Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million. I wanted to tell my friends how a comment I posted on Reddit got over 1,000 upvotes, but it's about having a daddy kink. When I was 8 or 9 I found my cousin's PRN stash and cut out a ton of pictures and made a giant scrapbook of PRN I found arousing. I can move my vagina muscles in a way that it feels like it sucks the dick in. Or that's how my ex described it. I don't know how I can do that. But I'm strangely proud about it. Definitely your Kegel muscles. There are a lot of benefits to Kegel exercises. I have an ex who could squeeze tight enough to keep me from being able to pull out, in a playful way. Not in a force me into child support payments way. An old friend of mine and I were catching up. And we were having a great time together. Now a few drinks later we start to reminisce on an old agreement we had. See, we agreed that if we ever went out and partied and were sorely frustrated, we would relieve that frustration for each other. We did that for a couple of years and she ended up getting a BF and I moved on to other guys and girls. I'm a big guy BTW. And we kind of forgot to keep the contact. So when we decided to get it on, I remembered she had a thing for tying people up. And I kinda like it myself. And she wanted to surprise with a new thing she wanted to try. Which was dropping some candle wax on my iron back. So now I have to tell people I was involved in a goddamn house fire. Because a buddy incinerated it with the wrong iron candle wax. I once gave a guy a 4-hour BJ because we were both high on Adderall. Till I need to take Adderall with my so. No refractory period. I can come. Stay hard. And come again. Edit. Thanks Reddit. This is now my most upvoted comment by a long shot. Go figure. With great power comes great responsibility. One time I was fingering my girlfriend and she was really into it, so she moaned harder and I just shouted in my best Scottish accent. I'm Ginny are all she's got. My penis goes from 5 centimeters in not horny mode to 18 centimeters when I have a boner. He's a grower. Not a shower. I banged 2 different girls who had the same phone number. One was my ex. So I had the number memorized. Few years later I met a girl in a bar and got her number. And realized as I was saving it. It was the same 7-digit number as my ex. Different area code. Also those are the only 2 girls that ever ate my ass. Edit. Obligatory wow. This blew up. And as for your questions. No, it was not Jenny. The number wasn't 867-5309. And you cannot have it. Even for science. Female here. My masturbation records are 8 orgasms in 20 minutes and 12 in one day. I once weighed myself before pooping, and when weighing myself after, discovered that I lost 6 pounds. Edit. Holy lord, I had no idea this would get so much attention. When I get wet, I get soaking wet. Like, super soaking wet. Pretty sure now a couple people I suspect who know my Reddit username now knows this about me. No regrets. I once nutted so hard it went straight over my head and hit the wall behind me. I can get myself off by putting my dick in between my thighs, lay down, cross my ankles, and kick like both of my legs are tied together. It's the only way I can get off. I've never jerked myself using my hands, and it takes me a really long time to get off when I have regular sex. Holy. Gave a girl who said she never usually climaxes a real good orgasm. So much so that when she got up to go pee, her legs collapsed from underneath her. I bet she tells that to all the guys. And then they all feel like Superman afterward. Bonus points for her that they probably try harder. I once had sex with a person of the opposite sex, but with the same name as me. I can mostly think myself to orgasm. I can jill off and come without using hands or toys or otherwise touching myself, or even taking my clothes off. Granted, I still need to be in private, since the body hip motions involved are kinda distinctive. But I have had some long bus rides where no one else was sitting in the back and I was bored as hell. Edit. Whoa. This is my most upvoted post comment ever. I popped both cherries and same night. I read that as pooped. One time I jerked off for 5 hours. In casual. I once got a nuke in MW2 while receiving a blowjob. Once had a woman scream, "My god. Did you go to school for that?" after her third O in a row. Honestly felt so proud I almost turned to see if anyone had seen heard. I'm a guy. And I cannot come from having sex. It's kind of a downer for me. But the upside is I have fantastic stamina. And I can go as long as or longer than the girl. Edit. Not on any meds. I just jerk off a lot. Also I don't have a death grip. When doing chores, or just lazing around the house, I'll usually have a DLDO butt plug in me. It just feels nice. It's technically NSFW. I haven't been at my company for a year yet and I was given the highest bonus possible but told to tell no one. I had a mini celebration with my dog though. I made my girlfriend climax at the climax of Stairway to Heaven once. Serious, I beat 3 felonies and also heroin opioid addiction. And then graduated college. I have had sex. More than once. I have used Reddit at work. Edit. My top comment on Reddit is now about using Reddit. Meter. Broke my dick once while having sex. She crunched it while on top. I didn't have any health insurance so I just sort of let it ride and hoped for the best. It turned dark purple for a week and then it was fine. Thankfully. Shot it directly into a girl's eye once after pulling out in missionary. So I was at her feet when it shot out. I couldn't stop laughing at the 1 in a million shot while trying to help. Ultimately I felt a little bad and walked to the pharmacy to get her some eye drops but I laughed the whole way there. 2. I have only had sex with one woman. She is my wife of 15 years. Thick as a large Red Bull. I may not bottom out. But I will stretch out the sides. Edit. Please stop with the creepy PMs and pic requests. I've enjoyed being the lady in a devil's threesome. Autofellatio. It sucks. No pun intended. Try sucking a ping pong ball through a hose while holding yourself up on a pull-up bar to get an idea of what it is like. The best sex me and my so have is when we in his office. We a lot. But that's the one place where it's always mind-blowing and kinky as. The first time we did it was mostly for standard reasons. We were both having Thai days and almost everyone was gone, so we figured why not, but it's quickly morphed into something we do regularly because it's so good. The thrill of it hasn't lessened at all too, which is kind of amazing. It's also bled into our normal sex life in weird ways, which made things even more intense. I work at a sex club as a low-key sex worker, and it's the best job I've ever had. Even at work, and sometimes even with romantic partners, I often keep to myself that I love to come from being slapped in the face as I'm deep-throating dick. That's private information. I can deep throat. I'm a straight guy. Taught myself with a banana in high school. Also makes taking shots easier. And controlling hiccups. I often want to tell girlfriends, look, if I can teach myself. Pretty sure you can, but it's an awkward conversation at best. I once nutted so hard that my entire dick was tingly and almost numb for like half an hour. I eat loads of PSSY. Said with fake British accent a la Steel Dragon. Every girl I've banged during a one night stand in college basically volunteered to be my booty call. Like they'd text me and offer to come over. And if I said yes, in 15 minutes they were at my door. Literally every girl through my college career. So what you mean is, you were their booty call. Had a threesome this past Saturday. 2 guys. I'm a girl. Somehow they both fit in one hole. Was wicked insane. 10/10. When I was a teenager, someone noticed that I had a big dick. They just told me last week the story when they noticed I was well endowed and not a child anymore. Apparently my board shorts were kinda DRP and it was hard to not notice. It's a strange story, but I have no one else to share it with. I figured out how to squirt. For someone who couldn't come at all a few years ago. This was such a big deal to me. I was seriously so emotional, haha. You know those old desk fans from the 60s that had metal blades instead of plastic ones? Well, one day back in my youth, I had the hardest erection I have ever thought possible. This thing could have been a new element. After a few minutes of treating it like a punch me clown, I was hanging clothes, towels, blankets, you name it. I could hold it aloft with my supremely stiff little man. Then, I get the idea as I see the fan. The front cover was already off due to damage it had sustained earlier that year. I decide to flip that bitch on and throw myself in front of the speeding fan blade and stop it like a wee Superman. Inch closer. Feeling the wind on my privates grow with intensity. After a brief moment, I decide it best to just go for it. I jam my pecker into the fan. And I hear and feel a snap. And that's my story of how I chipped a metal fan blade with my erection. I can unwrap and correctly apply a condom in 6 seconds. I'm a straight guy who taught a lesbian how to kiss. I made this username and it actually worked. That's all. I can suck a dude's soul out his dick. I should surprise my BF when I get home. 2 chicks at the same time. In a right. Man. 3 girls in the same day. At 3 separate times. Came inside 2 of them sans condom. I was a little reckless back then. Luckily no diseases and no babies. Getting to strap one on and a guy. I have given 3 different women their first orgasm. I also have had 2 women turn me down for sex because they were afraid of how big I am. I've had a threesome. I give good head to women and love doing it. I was screwing without safety attire. My hymen never bled. First time was easy peasy. That my SOL goals in life is to have sex with a girl from every racial type. I would also like to sleep with women from different countries and be able to mark this out on a sick twisted map of the world. Late posting but feel I got a cause. Coincidentally it happened today. I was at the end of a dirt road blocked by a no trespassing sign and gate. I also have a fetish for getting naked and jerking it in the great outdoors. This was, I thought, the perfect place to do it. stripped and started doing my thing. Being secluded in the middle of nowhere, I was free to be as loud as I wanted. Had this great half-hour session groaning and teasing myself. It was awesome. Just as I came to, girls came up from a trail about 40 feet away from me. Mind you, this was by 75-foot cliff overlooking the ocean, so it never dawned on me that there was any trails down to the shore. I came so hard and long, all while making eye contact with the two girls. They froze and saw everything. Shook my clean. Put on my clothes and jumped on my bike, all while giving them a wink and a smile. I've been thinking about what would have happened if they came up that trail 5 minutes earlier. This story has the scent of neckbeard. I have failed to comply with OSHA safety regulations on more than one occasion. Throwaway account. Given fear of reprisals. I have over 1,000 views on a nude I posted on GW. My family is a half Jehovah's Witness. Half generically religious. And I never considered my body anything attractive. I stick my head under the quilt when I do a sweaty fart to see if it smells bad. Then secretly rate them out of 10 in my head. Only ever had a 10/10 once and I threw up. Absolute quality fart. I could make my ex pass out from going down on her. Pass out or fall asleep? To paraphrase Sue Colini, I eat PSS while like my mama made it. Like it was your sister's? I once had a girlfriend climax so hard. She the bed. Used to be a bit ashamed of being uncut. I love how uncut guys look and how sensitive they are compared to their cut counterparts. In my experience, uncut dicks have been more fun to play with. I once brought a man to tears of joy with my vagina during a one-night stand. This thread is confusing the hell out of my penis. I'm a guy, but still get extremely wet when I'm turned on. It's like a constant, slow stream of precum. So far every girl I've been with has found it either hot, impressive, or as an ego booster for themselves. For now, I'm proud of it. One time my girlfriend kept teasing me in public to drive me crazy. It got so bad that I had actually soaked through my undies onto my pants with precum. Looked like I peed myself a bit. When I was younger I could suck my own dick. Problem was, back then my weight was below average. Now that I've filled out more and am of average weight, I can't do it anymore. Didn't stop me from bragging to a friend or two when I needed to gain leverage in a testosterone throwing match. Though, I think estrogen was the word you were looking for. I'm proud that I have not committed suicide. No. That is not a joke, and yes, I am proud to have survived this long. I'm a bit proud of being able to take my largest DLDO. It isn't all that large but still took a while to conquer it, and first time I did it felt amazing. I am an accomplished thespian of master penis theater. My wife, who still is the hottest girl I've ever dated, was so into me that the first time she gave me head she came at the same time I did, without touching herself at all. She was mildly embarrassed and said that never happened before. But I loved it. Also, I have bafflingly long orgasms for a guy. Sometimes lasting as long as a minute or two on some occasions. Partners can still feel it throbbing and pulsing inside them the entire time. Oh. Had a MFFFF fivesome with my wife and some of her friends once. We were all drunk and I don't remember most of it.